Hi, thank you for clicking on the video, and I hope everyone is doing really well. So today's video is a type of video that I have done a couple of other times. I am watching a video from Abbey Sharp where she takes foods and makes them healthy. So if you have watched my other videos where she does this type of concept, you will know my biggest criticism is she always talks about intuitive eating, and she talks about not using words like good or bad or healthy or clean eating and words like that, because every food can be incorporated into a healthy diet. But then she turns around and she makes videos like this, taking your fear foods and making them healthy. They're a fear food because we're afraid to eat unhealthy food. Why are you using that kind of language? You are creating fear around certain foods that we're not supposed to be afraid of. We're not supposed to be afraid of food. Anyway, she's made another one. And this one is, I turn nostalgic foods into balanced, healthy meals to satisfy and crush your hunger. So now you're taking foods that hold nostalgic value to people who probably developed a fear of those foods during those childhood and formative years. You're taking them and turning them into something, essentially, that is better for you, better value, better moral standing, the thing that you are opposed to. How has she not grasped the concept that this concept is problematic to the very people that she is trying to help? I don't get it, but let's watch it.
Nostalgic Childhood Edition. Now, very quickly, you can check out my disclaimer on screen or in the description below, but I also want to remind everyone that this series is not about never having your fear foods all on their own without any fiber, protein, or healthy fats. Nothing bad is going to happen if you just want to enjoy them as they are without all the balancing accoutrements.
Your disclaimer in and of itself is a problem. Your language means something to people who have an issue with food. There is nothing wrong with just eating your fear foods all on its own and not creating balanced, healthy, snacks. Do you not hear what you're saying? Do you not hear the words that are coming out of your mouth? Sure, it's okay if you choose to not make it balanced. Also, please keep in mind, I'm a big fan of Abbey Sharp. And this is nothing against her and her profession, her as a person. It's just this concept, because she does different types of videos. But this particular video concept that she continues to do continues to be a problem. And I'm, as someone who really doesn't want people to be afraid of food, I'm going to point it out.
But for those of you who are having trouble incorporating some of these fear foods into your diet, these foods are just foods. They're morally neutral food.
However, you are taking that idea and throwing it in the garbage because you're saying, but let's change them. Let's take these these neutral foods and somehow elevate them above their basic counterparts, them on their own.
And I want to show all of you guys at home how you can incorporate them into your daily diet, into balanced meals and snacks that not only are going to leave you satisfied because they're tasty, but are also going to keep you satiated as well. So on that note, let's make some hunger-crushing combos. Okay, so first things first, Pop-Tarts. Is there anything in this world more nostalgic than a Pop-Tart?
Yeah, for me, almost anything else, because I wasn't allowed to have Pop-Tarts.
The sugary frosting and the sprinkles on top, and like the semi-dry, stale tasting pastry with the jam inside. I mean, I'm really hoping they're as good as I remember. Though I will say, and you guys leave me in the comment section below, my sister and I would always have this like battle where she was team Pop-Tarts and I was team Pillsbury strudel, kind of toaster strudel things. Is that what they're called? Anyways, I feel like the pastry was just way better. It's soft, it's kind of like flaky, like a croissant, not stale like this.
Side note, you're talking down about a food that we are about to turn into a healthy meal. I understand you're allowed to have your preferences. You're allowed to like things, not like things. You're allowed to think things are stale. But why was this little rant necessary in this type of video? You're trying to create a sense of calm and peace and neutrality around foods that people are afraid of. Big fear food, Pop-Tarts, yeah. Why are you talking bad about it?
But I do feel that this has more of a nostalgic element. So we went with the Pop-Tarts today, and I'm gonna show you how to turn these into hunger-crushing combos.
I'm excited to see how you do that too, seeing as you are about to take a fear food, add a bunch of crap to it, and turn it into a bigger fear food. That's literally what a lot of these things are. And I'm like, you're just adding calories. And that's the thing, is people are afraid of calories, and you are just stacking calories on top of calories. Because I'm sorry, as someone who is a human calorie calculator, you hold up a box of Pop-Tarts and I know exactly how many are in each one of those pastries. And it's not a little. It's not a little. So anything you add to one Pop-Tart is automatic, like, heart-sinking fear within me. And I'm not even going to eat it. I can't eat Pop-Tarts. I'm allergic. But I still feel that fear, like the anxiety around it.
But first, let's pop some tarts. Okay, check it out. We've got some delicious, thick, full-fat Greek yogurt.
Of course we do, because an Abbey Sharp video would not be complete without Greek yogurt.
And just the plain stuff, or you could use flavored, of course. So a quick reminder for all you folks at home, the Hunger Crushing combo is protein, fiber, and healthy fats. So for this combination, we have some full-fat Greek yogurt.
You know, a Pop-Tart in and of itself is that. It is fiber, protein, and fats. I can't say healthy because I thought we were not demonizing anything.
Which is packed with protein. You could use flavored if you want, but this is just plain because we got lots of flavor going in. I've got some beautiful berries here. So ripe, so delish. Pop lots of those bad boys in. That's gonna be our fiber. And we've got some healthy fats. We've got a little mixed nut situation here. Brazil nuts, almonds, cashews, and pecans. So that is our healthy fat.
So you're making a little yogurt parfait, let me guess, throwing crumpled up Pop-Tart on top.
Do you remember that warm Pop-Tart feeling in your hand? Because I am being brought back to my childhood. This was my breakfast pretty much every day of the week, just as I remembered it. Slightly stale, very sweet. That little layer of icing, it just hits different. So of course, if you want to have a balanced breakfast, you have your Pop-Tarts, you have your bowl of kind of yogurt, fruit, and nuts. It's a great little parfait. Or you do what I like to do, and you break this bad boy up. You mix it in there, you get little bits of frosting, you get little bits of jam. It's warm, it's flaky.
Oh wow, I'm so shocked. You did exactly as I predicted. You haven't turned anything into anything else. You're just eating 4 different things that happen to be mixed together into a bowl. That's not anything. You haven't done anything.
All right, number 2 is KD. Well, we call it KD in Canada. I guess in the States, it's called Kraft Macaroni and Cheese Dinner. We call it KD, like Kraft Dinner. So the packaging is a little bit different, but the nostalgia is still the same.
No, I was allowed to have Kraft macaroni and cheese from the box like twice a year. Abbey Sharp's videos are not catered directly to me.
I have a funny story about KD or Kraft Dinner. When we were growing up, my mom really does not like cheese, and she doesn't even like the smell of cheese. So we weren't allowed to have Kraft Dinner when I was a kid, in the house at least. It wasn't a health problem. It wasn't about it being unhealthy or junk or whatever. That was not the issue.
I bet it also was because, yes, we grew up a few years apart, but I do know the mentality of our parents and the way they thought. And the way they thought what healthy was and what unhealthy was. I understand that you're trying to backpedal for your mom, but I'm going to straight up and say, my mom would not buy that for me on the regular because it was unhealthy and she did not want a fat kid. I said it. I am not going to defend my mom in any way, shape, or form. I'm telling the truth. This is how it was in the 90s.
So basically, anytime I'd go to anyone's house, like a friend's house, grandma's house, etc., my sister and I would basically beg for KD. So we've had a lot of time to make up for our KD deprivation as children. And let's just say I keep my pantry stocked. So I already had my KD in the pantry, and I actually often beef it up into a more substantial meal for myself and for the kids. So that's what we're gonna do today. The kids are out, they're playing. They are going to be so excited when they come home and there is KD or craft dinner or whatever you want to call it for lunch. Let's do it.
I can see where this one's going. And this one, if it's going where I think it's going, I give the stamp of approval. Because I do what she's probably gonna do, which is take the thing and add a bunch of things to the thing. Because I am an adult, and a box of mac and cheese is like eating 2 gulps of air. You need more to it than just that. So let's see if we are going where I think we're going.
Okay, step 1 is to just cook the mac and cheese as it says on the package. So you boil the water, add the pasta, drain it, put a little bit of butter in there, and a little bit of milk.
I love it when influencers are like, you just follow the directions on the box. Let me tell you the directions on the box. What was the point of saying follow the directions on the box if you're still gonna say them?
Already messed up. Overboiled the water. Whoops. You add your butter. You add a little milk. You add the happy powder. And we give it a little stir. Now we turn it into a hunger-crushing combo. And oh my god, this smells like my childhood.
I like to buy the Annie's brand gluten-free vegan mac and cheese. It is the one that tastes and smells closest to Kraft, and that is why it is my favorite, because it's the fakest. Actually, Daya would probably be the fakest, but the most accurate fakeness is Annie's. That's a good thing. If any representatives from Annie's watching, this is a good thing, and if you need a spokesperson who will speak highly of your vegan gluten-free mac and cheese and how fake it is.
Step 1, we add some fiber. I've got some frozen cauliflower and broccoli here. I'm gonna add some cottage cheese here.
Dear representative from Annie's, I will not be adding cottage cheese to the mac and cheese because there's already cheese.
This is going to add a ton of protein. Now we've got some shredded cheese.
Okay. She's doing what I thought she was doing, but she's doing it wrong. Okay? The secret to conquering your fear of mac and cheese is not to add more of the thing that is scary, aka cheese, that you are adding 2 more servings of it on top of butter, milk, and cheese packet. You don't need the other cheese, okay? That is unnecessary in order to conquer your fear of the mac and cheese. Okay? You get what I'm saying here? Eat the mac and cheese, and then you can start adding things that are not cheese. The secret to conquering a fear food is not to throw all of the fear food into the fear food. Okay? That would just be overload, and like you'd go into a fear food coma.
And then I've got some nutritional yeast here.
Will ruin the taste of your mac and cheese. I will be the first vegan on the planet to not endorse nutritional yeast. Don't do it.
That's going to bump up the protein and add a little bit more fiber as well. All right, look at that.
Enough with the sounds. Yeah, I'm looking at that. Have we never seen mac and cheese before? Here's the correct way. If you're gonna add stuff to your mac and cheese, here's what you wanna add. You wanna go out and you wanna get some Beyond Meat crumbles, or Beyond Meat sausage, or Beyond Meat grounds, or Beyond Meat meatballs. Are you catching a pattern here? And then you want to either get broccoli or peas, frozen preferably on the peas, fresh on the broccoli. And you want to add the broccoli at the very end so that it kind of starts to soften but still has a little snap to it. And the frozen peas, you want to get the microwavable ones so that you can microwave them to get nice and steamed. And then they'll stay nice and solid and not get mushy, and you want to add them at the end. 1 or 2 little stirs because you don't want to mash the peas. And you want them to keep them whole, and again, get that nice little pop. Okay? And you're going to cook your fake meat of choice My choice would be, I don't know, something like Beyond Meat, and then you add it in at the end with a lot of good spices, such as, but not limited to, garlic powder, paprika, dill, and oregano, and parsley. And then if you're feeling a little zesty, hot sauce at the end.
Get a little broccoli in there. It is so much better than just the box stuff on its own.
So much better. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that phrase, so much better? Better than what? Why isn't the other thing better or good? Why is this better?
Next nostalgic childhood food is near and dear to my heart because it pretty much like sustained me through childhood. And that is the combination of grilled cheese and tomato soup. So good, so classic. You know, you don't want to mess with it. But nowadays I actually make grilled cheese all the time, and I also just love a good canned tomato soup. You just can't make it from scratch and have it taste the same.
Of course you can't make it from scratch and have it taste the same. That would be the high fructose corn syrup.
But first I want to do a little story time because my mom always tells me this story about when I was a kid. She made me grilled cheese one time, and kids are funny, they're fickle. Some days like all they want to do is have grilled cheese, and then next day they are complaining about said grilled cheese. And I was just having a day apparently. And you know how grilled cheese as like all toast gets like brown when you cook it? Well, I thought that was dirt, and I had my mom wash the grilled cheese. I had a full-on tantrum because the grilled cheese looked dirty to me and it needed to be washed. So what did I get? I got soggy grilled cheese.
That's just a story of how you were pampered. Oh my god. I would have been slapped with that grilled cheese if I had asked for that. Also, why would you ask? I mean, she explained why, but as a child, I knew what cooking was and what happened when you cooked. Also, at a very young age, I became in charge of making my own grilled cheese if I wanted, like by the age of 6, so there were no tantrums. If it burned, it burned. It was my own damn fault.
Now, we are not going to make sake grilled cheese today, but we are going to make a more satiating grilled cheese.
I think what she's trying to say, she's going to make an adult grilled cheese, which is when you put more fun, delicious ingredients in the grilled cheese with the cheese, aka just adding things to the food that already exists.
And I'm gonna show you how we do it. Okay, so real talk here, folks. I am not gonna make grilled cheese with like a really hearty whole grain toast. I'm just not. I love whole grain toast. I love a good seedy bread for like my nut butter breakfast toast or for sandwiches. But grilled cheese, you gotta stick with the OG. Now, I prefer sourdough toast. Like, I just straight up prefer. This is not diet culture. This is not wellness culture. I just like sourdough bread.
Thank you for letting us know that it's not diet culture while you make a whole video promoting diet culture.
I'm gonna show you guys a really great little hack that I learned just to get more even consistency on the bread. We melt le butter. Using a little brush here, gonna get a nice even coat all over. The butter is where the love is, so we want to be like a little more generous.
Here's what I'm gonna suggest, and this is where I started conquering my fear of grilled cheese, is I omitted the butter. Yep, I did. I'll admit it. I did that. I would make grilled cheese, and this is really sad that I used to do this, but I would make grilled cheese with no oil, no fat, none. I put dry pieces of bread in a dry pan. But you gotta start somewhere, and it's okay to start there. You don't need to put on a layer of butter this thick starting out. You don't have to just throw yourself into it. You can take these ridiculous, on my part, it was ridiculous, baby steps, if that's what you need to do. That's what I needed to do. I graduated to spraying the pan and then putting the bread down, and then eventually I got to the point where I would butter the bread before putting it down. But the butter would always be too cold, and then it would rip up the bread, and that was super disappointing to me, so I'd go back to the spray. It's just easier. Plus, I don't make grilled cheese that often.
We're gonna add a little beautiful pesto onto one side of le bread. And this is gonna add some delicious healthy fats because we've got nuts in here, and we've got some extra virgin olive oil. And you can make it from scratch, but mama don't have time for that. Hello, it's gonna add flavor. Beaut. Smells so fresh and so delicious. Yes. All right. Now the next question is, what do we layer first? But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do some cheese down first. The cheese layer protects the bread from the tomato juice. Tomatoes. Let's just a tight squeeze. We're gonna add a little bit of fiber here. We're gonna add some more fiber with some greens. And we've got some chicken for some protein. This is just leftover chicken. It's whatever I had in the fridge. This could be any kind of protein that you have or like. It could be tofu.
There she goes with tofu. Must be the only non-meat option. Unless you like genuinely like it, which I can't imagine that being like a thing. I don't put tofu in your grilled cheese.
It could be ground meats, whatever. Oh yeah. All right, anything else? Anything else, friends? Okay, do we want to do a double layer of cheese?
Yeah, you do, because you want to hold that chicken from falling out when you do the flippity flip.
Okay, I think we're good to go. Plop it on there. Oh, she's thick. Oh, we lost a piece of chicken. Now we cook it. Okay. GC hack, I do a little bit of olive oil in the pan, which not only adds some healthy fats, but also prevents the butter from burning. Let me let that heat up. Oh, hello. Oop, she just keeps escaping out the back end. Put that baby to rest.
She's touching it too much for my liking.
While she cooks, we make tomato soup. Only the classic, obviously. Now, to bump up the fiber and protein even more, I'm gonna add a ton of nutritional yeast to the soup. That also is gonna add a little cheesy flavor, and it's just super delicious and nutritious.
And it will also add the smell of musty feet to your kitchen.
Whew, look at that. Oh my goodness. See? I would have made my mom wash this, but it's perfection. Needs a little more olive oil here.
The cheese isn't melting. I like to do the grilled cheese both slices down with cheese on both, and then at the very end, plop them together. That way the cheese melts.
Now we press. Now if you want to get that cheese melted, you gotta put the lid on. Oh. It's like perfection. That's how I like it.
You made a hot sandwich. And you didn't really do anything to the soup, which I approve of.
Okay, so another favorite breakfast of mine growing up, and apparently a lot of yours as well when I polled you guys on my community page, was cinnamon sugar toast. I have so many memories of just wanting cinnamon sugar toast for breakfast or for a bedtime snack. And I feel like the cinnamon flavor is inherently comforting, but when you get the sugar in there and like the buttery toast and the crunch of a nicely toasted piece of white bread. So a lot of you wanted to know how to turn that into a hunger crushing combo.
Who are these people who want to know how to do that to cinnamon toast? Cinnamon sugar toast. Who is trying to ruin this for the rest of us? This is the really truest, most nostalgic one for me. Why are we trying to ruin it? I swear to God, if she puts cheese on it, I am going to flip my shit more than I already have.
And the first thing I thought was, I'm not going to change the cinnamon sugar toast. When I was growing up, you used to be able to buy like cinnamon sugar butter. I don't know if that still exists anymore, but I figured we can also just make our own with cinnamon, sugar, and butter. So that's what we're gonna do, and I'm going to pair it with a savory piece of toast to give you those hunger crushing compounds.
Thank you for not changing and ruining cinnamon sugar toast. You simply are just putting something next to it. Oh, look at that. She made avocado toast as her savory piece. Didn't see that coming. I'm going to end the video here. So thank you so much for clicking on the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you did not enjoy it, you can give it a thumbs down. That is cool too. I don't mind. If you are not subscribed already, please consider subscribing and be sure to hit the notification bell to stay notified of all future uploads. If you have any comments, questions, video suggestions, anything at all, feel free to leave that in the comment section below. Be sure to go follow me over on Instagram, and I will see you next time. Bye!